Hello everyone out there on the interwebs. My name is Jared and this is my channel Mazda B3K. This video is going to be about replacing a headlight on a 2010 Ford Fusion. This should also work for the 2011 and 2012 Ford Fusion years as well. So in a previous episode we rebuilt the front end of my brother's Fusion. And we had to put a bad headlight back in because we didn't have a replacement. I just sourced the replacement today from the local junkyard, so we're going to go ahead and put it in. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, I know from previous experience kind of sort of what needs to come out in order to get this done. So what we're going to have to do, first things first, is there are these two push pins that are for this chrome piece. Back you out here. It goes along the length here, and these push pins have to come out because they actually lock into the headlight. There's also supposed to be a bolt right here, but as this old headlight's broken, that's missing. There's supposed to be a bolt here, and again, that's missing because the headlight's broken, this old one, but just letting you know that it's there. There's gonna be about right there's another bolt that needs to come out. So in order to do that, you have to drop this bumper skin. And to drop the bumper skin, we're going to need to remove a few more push pins. There's 3 at a minimum. Oh, where is it? There it is. That we're going to have to pull out here. And I also know that there is about right there behind the grill, there's one final bolt. So in actuality, this top chrome piece that runs across the top, you're gonna have to pull those over there. There's going to be a series of 10mm bolts along here we got to pull, and then this comes right out. And once we have that out, we'll have access to all this and we can extract the headlight. So let me go ahead and start working on the bumper skin, and I'll bring you back. Before I go, this is your friend whenever you got to pull all these push pins. It really doesn't matter the maker, the model, just a simple trim tool. I think I got this on Amazon years ago for like $10. You know, it makes the world go round. So let me pop these out and I'll bring you back. I realize that some of you out there may actually not know how to pull these out. So there are 2 ways to do this. There is the correct way, which is, zoom in here, so you can see the pin actually sits inside of a hold. And what you do is you get under the pin itself, like this, and yeah, try to pull it out, like that. And once the pin's out, whole push pin comes out like so. The other way you can do this, and it's a little more risky but it can work most of the time, is you just get under the whole assembly like this and you pop it out. So depending on the age of the vehicle you're working on and how bad the plastic is, you can kind of decide how you want to do this. 2010's still reasonably new, so the plastic's okay. Kind of get under, work it out like so. All right, I will bring you back once I have this bumper skin dropped. Chrome is now removed. Be careful when you pull it. There are supposed to be these pins that lock in to the rest of the front grille. Now this one I got from the junkyard, so they're half there, half broken. But just be careful with it because these do break. Also be careful when you pull these. You can see I accidentally took a piece of the headlight over there and I took a piece of it over there. So be really careful when you take those push pins out, or you're going to break the ears off the headlights. That's part of the reason why it took so long for me to get a replacement, because of exactly that. On this one I don't care, it's broken. This one I do. Oh, groovy. I didn't snap the ears off. That must have been from the old Fusion that I pulled it from. So cool. But my suggestion is take your trim tool, push down on this ear as you pull up on the push pin, and that way it takes pressure off this plastic ear so you don't break it. So you can see with that top trim chrome piece out of the way, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 10 millimeters. Once that's loose, this whole thing will come up. Once it comes up, we should be able to get it to the bolt that is back here. Small correction here, I forgot that this plastic piece is part of this, and this front grille is actually part of the entire front bumper skin. So we still need to take these bolts out. That's got to happen. And hopefully what that does is it'll create enough room. See that bolt hole right there? It'll create enough room that you can get in there to tighten that bolt so we don't have to pull the whole front skin off, because that's kind of a job. Because then you got to loosen the wheel well on this side. There's a whole bunch of bolts along the bottom you got to loosen up. We don't want to do that. So we're going to take these 4 out to give us some wiggle room and get in there. Notice this headlight's basically free. One thing we got to do though, we got to take care of our bolt behind bumper skirt. With the last bolt out, you're going to have to kind of wiggle the headlight. There's some plastic bits that will catch under the bumper skin, and just kind of have to wiggle it out. Of course, don't forget, you do need to take care of this guy here and this guy here. Or if your Fusion has a little bit more bells and whistles, let's take care of that. So this one, just put your thumb in the back, give her a wiggle and a tug, and it doesn't want to go. And then you cry sadness. Alright, I need 2 hands to fight with these, so I'm going to get these out, and then we'll take a look at our replacement, and we'll go from there. Here is our replacement. This came out of a 2012 Ford Fusion, but it'll work for 2010 or 2011. Wanted to point out this thing has 5 connection points on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it is a pain to find these in one piece at the junkyard. People just rip them out or rip other things out on their way to get this. That's what we need to do. One thing I'm going to need to do is, I think this is a running light, and I need to reinstall it. By default, if you just yank this out, you're not going to have to do anything. But I wasn't sure, so I removed the whole shebang, and now I got to put it back together. It's kind of weird. The bulb sits on top of this retention plate, and then the retention plate slides in under those screws, and that's how it tucks in tight. And then you put a weather cap similar to this one over it. So I'm going to do that. You should not have to do this unless you're a dingbat like me and poke at this at the junkyard. So I'm going to get this back together, and then we'll actually get on with the reassembly. As you go to insert your new light, or your new to you light like this one, be mindful that you're going to have to flex out this bumper skin, because you're going to have things like this that you got to clear. You're going to have to flex it out over here again to sneak stuff in, like this plastic ear right here that the camera's not really showing. There, it's a little better. And also, in some places, you're going to have a connection that goes under, like this goes under that, but then this is going to go over metal right here. So be mindful of that, and if you're not sure, try to look for a witness mark. See, if you look here, there's not really any kind of a circular mark from a washer or a bolt snugging up right next to the metal. So that tells me that this goes over that, and then the bolt goes through. So just look for things like that. Take your time. It's not a race, it's a marathon. Just remember, you got lots of little fiddly plastic bits, and if they snap, you're SOL. You're back where you started. So take your time, like I'm about to. We're going to wiggle this in. Once we're wiggled in, we'll start bolting everything back up. Alright, after a bit of wiggling, take a look. Like I said, that one wound up over, this one wound up under, that wound up under, and everything, the lineup is really close. And I'll just have to finesse it that last little bit. I suspect that in one of the fender benders that this vehicle was in, it bent stuff just so slightly, because we have issues, alignment issues like that. So I'll just have to finesse it. If you're just doing a straight headlight change, you shouldn't have this. It should just drop right in clean. So the bolts we're going to need primarily are going to be, oh wow, that is awful. Sunlight, bad. All right, better. Are going to be primarily these black ones. This is supposed to be a gray silver, the one that rusted a bit. The gray silvers are for the longer reaches because it's a longer bolt. These little black ones are for the shorter ones, so you just kind of have to eyeball it. It's all the same thread pitch, it's all 10 millimeter, so just grab it and go to town. Alrighty, I have everything hand threaded, even that guy, and the guy that's sitting down here. Remember, we've got, I gotta change my grip here, there we go. So hidden down there. It's hard to see. Yep, there you go, right there. Just follow the L bracket there, and there's a bolt. So I have everything hand threaded. I wound up using the shorter black ones, except for right here. This needs to be a silver. When you actually look down the bolt hole, you can see there's a little bit of distance before you reach the headlight, so you need that longer bolt. These are all 10 millimeter. I don't know the exact torque value, but it's not going to be high. So I'd say elbow torque, but be nice. There's a lot of plastic here, and that plastic's going to give up a lot earlier than metal does, so don't kill it, people. Alright, our headlight is now locked in place. Not going anywhere. We're 5 for 5. Before I button anything else up, I want to go ahead and do some testing. So those are not the right keys. Here we go. We have right keys. So go ahead and crank it. And we shall mute the radio when it comes up. There we go. Alright. So we'll turn on the headlights. See what we get. Alright, so I'm getting doodly bumpkus out of this light. But I am getting a light here. So that's good at least. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on there. See if we get high beams. Okay, again, we got nothing here. And I'm assuming we got something there. Now this light's working. Oh yeah, so that was the fogs. Fogs are working. Alright. So something's up over there. Actually, I know what the something up is. I forgot. I'm a dingbat. I forgot to put the bulb in there. Let me go fix that. Alright. I have a bulb installed. And in case you need to do this, your primary bulb, I think it's an H11, burns out. The really easy way to do this without pulling the headlight is get your air box out of the way in the air intake, and once you do that, you have oodles and oodles of room to do a bulb swap in here. In fact, it gives you plenty of room to get at your running lights as well. So let's try this again after I get everything put back together. And now that we have a bulb installed, everything looks dandy, except for I really need to clean this plastic. It's horrible. It's heavily oxidized. That'll be a different video. Alright, with that out of the way, the rest of this is just reinstallation is the reverse of removal. That's a lot of R's. So pop this back into position, replace the 3 push pins you removed here. Put those 4 push pins back in, put the top chrome piece on, and that's it. And that's gonna do it for this episode. We've got that headlight in and it looks good. So if you like this video, if you thought it was educational, if you thought it at least was worthy of attention, please like, share, and or subscribe to help this channel grow. As it grows, I can do more stuff. I can maybe start buying other vehicles, and that way I can branch out and do requests, basically. But in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.